There are many questions that we may have in life, questions about success, love, and the future. But there's one essential question that we will address today. When dark times descend upon us, where can hope come from? Before we delve deep into this journey, let's address what hope actually is. It is defined by Oxford Dictionary as a feeling that what is wanted can be had, or that events will turn out for the best.
In our opinion, hope is like a road to a destination, only the road doesn't physically exist. It is our own aspiration and will that makes the road appear, like a light illuminating the way out of a dark cave.
Now let's begin. Escape from Camp 14 by Blaine Harden takes you through the riveting odyssey of Shin Dong-hung as he transitions from being an oppressed North Korean political prisoner to a free, liberated man. The novel highlights the appalling circumstances that Shin endures in Camp 14 from an extremely early age, ranging from endless back-breaking labor to excruciating torture in underground cells, all while being on the brink of starvation. Unfortunately, due to the horrific upbringing by superiors, Shin has no perception or concept of hope. Shin is brainwashed to believe that due to his family's past sins, he was destined to be born, work, and die within the barbed wire fences of Camp 14, and that there was no life for him beyond the boundaries of the fence. When a new prisoner recently introduced to Camp 14 describes tales of freedom, comfort, and luxury taking place in the outside world, a flame of hopefulness ignites in the heart of Shin. The flame of hopefulness, symbolizing an aspiration for freedom and a better future, gives Shin the drive, ambition, and determination to escape the deadly grasp of Camp 14 and thrive in the outside world.
The movie The Help by Tate Taylor takes you through all the abominable journeys that all the black maids went through during the 1960s in Mississippi. Skeeter was a huge character in this movie because she hoped that throughout her book of collected stories about the mistreatment of black maids, she could bring light upon the subject of racism. Skeeter is very brave in collecting this information, as she could easily get into a lot of trouble because she wasn't supposed to mingle with the colored folk. She put her life in extreme danger to help out the oppressed because of her hope that things might change due to her book. Due to Skeeter's brave actions and her resolve for change, it instills hope among the black maids, and this was fundamental to the entire story of The Help. Without the hope given to the maids from Skeeter's proclamation of change, the maids would have never stepped out to help with Skeeter's book, and if that had happened, instead people today would have never been as aware of racism and oppression that was inflicted upon in the black maid during the 60s. During the hardships of injustice against the maids, especially the cruel treatment of Minnie by her former boss, her main source of hope and guidance during the darkest hours was her best friend and maid, Aibileen. When Aibileen was in trouble, as well as Minnie was her source of hope. This friendship and strong bond was the main foundation of hope, not only for Minnie and Aibileen, but for a lot of the other maids as well. Skeeter's aspiration for equality ignited the flame of hope in the entire population of black maids and was a catalyst for change in the oppressive American society. The friendships and bonds between the maids also eased the burden of the torment they had received.
In the personal narrative Night by Elie Wiesel, Mr. Wiesel shares his experiences inside the Auschwitz concentration camp during World War II. He describes the oppression he endured and the afflictions that were wrought onto him. For Mr. Wiesel, life was a dire cycle of cruelty, and just surviving the day was an arduous task every day he woke up. Mr. Wiesel's fundamental source of hope is derived from his father during their time at Auschwitz. Luckily, due to the burdening job of taking care of his father, he finds a purpose in his meaningless life, and that is the hope that one day he'll survive and be liberated with his father. His father also gives Mr. Wiesel the incentive to not turn evil or heartless. Ever since witnessing the abandonment of a priest by his own son, Mr. Wiesel prays to God and vows to have the strength he needs in order to never abandon his own responsibility and duty to his own family. In conclusion, Mr. Wiesel, during his time in Auschwitz, was able to survive based on whim, luck, and hope. This hope was a large part gained from his father and the inclination of escape from Auschwitz, the hellhole of death. The desire and hope of survival carried Mr. Wiesel through his nightmare and carried him on subtle wings throughout every day of his life in the death camp.
A Poem of Hope by Catherine Pulsifier is a poem that describes in many ways to gain hope in situations where you feel down. The first way elaborates about how you can regain hope through a spiritual perspective. Look deep down inside yourself and you'll find a way to cope. This quote shows that you always have the power to overcome tough times as long as you look deep within yourself to find the necessary strength. You always find that spark inside yourself. The poem also talks about when life is getting you down, it is also good to go to the people who are closest to you. As said in the quote, go to the person whom you are closest as they rest there above. Hope can come from more than just close relationships and spiritual guidance. The poem talks about how hope can also come from both friends and a personal perspective as well. Whenever you may feel down and need a laugh, find a friend that makes you smile, and they may even be your staff. The poem portrays personal strength as a strong party of gaining hope as well. When life drags you down, don't allow it to so. Change the way you think of life, and life will be better, The poem concludes with a religious perspective. Instead of saying that when life is getting you down, take time to pray and God will help you see the lessons of the day. This quote is very powerful, not only because it incorporates religion, which is a prominent source of hope, but also because it talks about how God in prayer can help you see the everyday blessings you receive but may be blind to.
In the movie The Book Thief, the story centers around the life of Liesel Memminger, a 9-year-old girl living in Germany during World War II. After being abandoned by her mother for Liesel's own safety, Liesel is adopted by a German couple named Hans and Rosa Hubermann. At first, Liesel resolves to run away from her new home and go search for her real mother, but after some time decides to stay because of the generosity of her new parents, especially Hans's charm. Throughout her time in Himmel Street, she embarks on a journey of self-discovery and the formation of a new family, and mostly her life as the renowned book thief. Liesel throughout the movie is a huge source of hope for all her family and friends around her. She comforts Hans and Rosa through very difficult times, even though they don't show it. They are grateful for her presence and of Liesel's compassion and innocence. Max is a Jew that is being hidden by the Hubermanns during Hitler's reign. Max also gains strength from Liesel from her discussion of books, words, and her daily description of the outside world, since he is strictly confined to the basement. Liesel finds hope through reading literature during times of duress. During air raids, she witnesses her father play the accordion to calm everyone down. She adapts this method during other air raids when her father isn't around, as she reads stories for the people of Himmel Street to carry on through hard times and ease the burden of those around her. Liesel uses books and literature to attain hope, as well as distract herself from the events happening around her. She takes pleasure reading stories and writing new learned words on a dictionary wall with Max and her father Hans. Liesel is interesting because unlike other characters who draw most of their hope from social interactions, Liesel draws hope from literature and reading. This demonstrates that hope can come from is not limited to social factors. Although Liesel does share strong bonds with her best friend Rudy, her other friend Max, and her adoptive parents. Throughout the many texts, Liesel is demonstrated as an outlier when it comes to where she attains hope from. Liesel is a prime example to the fact that hope can come from just about anything as long as it can form a deep personal connection within.
The following painting is a vivid visual representation of hopelessness that the artist Christopher Tideman suffers from. He explains that the gray cave in this picture represents the despair and futility, hopelessness in the face of hope. Christopher Tideman has expressed that although some of the best pieces of art come from this mental feeling of anguish and misery, he does not wish to live this way any longer. For Christopher, a flame of hopefulness arises from his passion of art, creative expression, and literature. These things alone granted him the drive to strive for greatness while also eluding the depths of hopelessness.
As we have amassed several texts and media to address our essential question, we must ultimately form the connections that tie together the answer of where hope comes from. As we have learned from the stories Night, Between Shades of Grey, and The Help, we deducted that the connection of family and friends play a vital role in where a large portion of hope comes from. This is because hope not only comes from within, the hope we gain from those around us is often more superior because what we gain from those that we are close to is a genuine gift. Hope is a gift for others like a breath of air to ignite a spark. This spark is often the start to a flame and is often the strength people need to move forward through vigorous times. For characters like Eli Wiesel from Night, Minnie and Aibileen from The Help, and Lena Vilkis from Between Shades of Grey, as well as many more. Besides friends and family, hope also comes from literature and expression. In the movie The Book Thief, Liesel manages to escape her own reality often by immersing herself in her reading and writing. During the time when Nazis reigned Germany, she feels very conflicted about the German cause and about her new home, but she feels most reassured when she's reading the books and writing the new words in her dictionary. In the painting Hope in the Face of Hopelessness, the artist Christopher Tideman uses expression to give himself relief from his pain and suffering. Using art as a medium to express how he truly feels and the emotion he usually hides from reality, he eases his own burden of depression.
Our long journey scouring and analyzing through several diverse texts and media yielded many results, but it is evident through many inferences that warmth from friends, family, literature, and aspirations is generally what most people answer to as a source of hope. Most people see hope primarily as an uplifting feeling that briefly visits our lives every so often. But the truth is, wherever your hands land, you can expand your own sense of hope. Hope may be, at best, a tender breath gently evoking a positive feeling, but it is the same feeling that guides our crucial decisions as we advance through our lives into the unknown future of cliffs, in which we take our leaps of faith. For that reason, it is our belief that our varying perspectives will mold our own answers to an essential question as we move forward towards the unknown.
Escape from Camp 14 by Blaine Harden takes you through the riveting odyssey of Shin Dong Hoi as he transitions out.
Did you not say Shin Dong Hoi?
Shin Dong Hoi.
Shin Dong Hoi?
Bloopers, that's bloopers.
It's a Shin Dong Hoi, okay.
Camp 14 by Blaine Harden takes you through the riveting odyssey of Shin Dong Hoi.
Stop saying Shin Dong Hoi.
Shin Dong Hoi. Shin Dong
Blaine
Hoi.
Harden takes you through the riveting odyssey of Shin Dong Hoi.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I told you how to pronounce it. Why do you keep saying Hoi?
Harden takes you through the riveting odyssey of Shin Dong Hui as he transitions from being a
Stop saying Hoi. Honk.
to the riveting odyssey of Shin Dong Hui as he transitions from being an oppressed North Korean political prisoner.
What's his face?
Unfortunately, due to his horrific upbringing by a superior
Just can't.
for a year of free counseling. For this woman that is experiencing a chicken piece of beef and lamb in her stomach tastes good chicken.
What?
Original narrative Night by Eli Wiesel. Mr. Wiesel shares actually no, you do this. I'm not doing Wiesel. I'm not gonna say that.
I'll do Eli. I'll do Weisel.
Ellie.
Why can't you guys pronounce anything? Like, I swear.
It's just me. I have like a native Indian tongue.